Good morning, India. It's just past 8 this 30th October morning, and we're back again with Breakfast Show. I'm Anil Thomas. So, the next 1 hour, we'll take you through the major happenings across India and the globe from the field of politics, business, and sports. Also, a regular segment on health and weather report. Our top focus over the day: Prime Minister Narendra Modi returns home after a successful visit to Saudi Arabia, with India and Saudi Arabia agreeing to set up the Strategic Partnership Council. Also, the second day of the delegation of the European Union parliamentarians visit to Jammu and Kashmir, where they'll visit Jammu today. In international news, Britain set for December 12th election to break the Brexit deadlock. And in sports, India gets ready to play day-night test cricket with pink ball. We'll be getting you live inputs from our team of correspondents for the top stories. But first up this Wednesday morning, the headlines we're tracking at the top of this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi returns to Delhi after concluding the successful visit to Saudi Arabia, holds bilateral meeting with the Saudi King and Crown Prince. 12 agreements signed between India and Saudi Arabia, including areas of energy and security cooperation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi delivers the keynote address at the Future Investment Initiative in Riyadh, shares mantras for global business that need to be understood to boost growth. In a joint statement, India and Saudi Arabia categorically rejects all forms of interference in the internal affairs of countries, stress that the extremism and terrorism threaten all nations and societies. Both sides call for closer cooperation in the United Nations Counter-Terrorism Center. Delegation of EU parliamentarians visit Srinagar, interacts with public, newly elected panchayat members and councillors, also meet the state administration officials. Takes tour of the famous Dal Lake in Srinagar. Delegation will visit Jammu today. In international news, Britain set for December 12th election to break the Brexit deadlock. United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson wins approval for the election from Parliament. And in sports, ICC bans Bangladeshi Test and T20 captain Shakib Al Hasan for 2 years. Shakib was found guilty for not reporting to the ICC when he was approached by the bookies. And now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in New Delhi after concluding his successful day-long visit to Saudi Arabia. In Riyadh, it was a jam-packed day for the Prime Minister. He held bilateral meetings with the Saudi King, Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Several MOUs were signed in the areas of defense, energy, healthcare. India also became the 8th nation that signed an agreement to set up a strategic partnership council with Saudi Arabia. Here's more.
King Salman of Saudi Arabia welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the second time since 2014. This is their first meeting since Prime Minister Narendra Modi was sworn in for his second term. King Salman congratulated the Prime Minister for his massive victory in the general elections. Terrorism also came up for discussion between the two leaders.
Both leaders condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations and appreciated the close cooperation on security matters between the two countries.
Prime Minister Modi also held bilateral talks with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. These culminated in the inking of nearly a dozen MOUs and agreements. Taking the India-Saudi strategic partnership forward, the two countries signed an agreement to set up the Strategic Partnership Council. Ensuring engagement at the highest level, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Crown Prince Salman will head the council. It will comprise of two verticals. One of the verticals will be headed by the foreign ministers of both nations and the other one by the commerce and industry and trade ministers. With this, India joins 7 other countries that include the UK, the United States, France, Germany, South Korea and Japan, who share a similar arrangement with Saudi Arabia.
हमारा सऊदी अरब से नाता हजारों वर्ष का रहा है। ऐसी दोस्ती रही है जैसे आप कहते हैं सदाकत को, कि एक दूसरे के वहां हमें अपनापन लगता है। हमारे ऐतिहासिक संबंधों और संपर्कों ने हमारी स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को मजबूत बुनियाद भी रखी है। और आज हमने क्राउन प्रिंस के साथ बातचीत में स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनरशिप काउंसिल की स्थापना करके अपने संबंधों को नई ऊंचाई प्रदान की है।
An MOU on defense industries cooperation as well as an agreement on security cooperation was also concluded. Expanding energy collaboration, an MOU on a joint venture between Indian Oil Middle East and Al Jairi Company of Saudi Arabia for downstream cooperation in setting up retail outlets in Saudi Arabia was also inked. Another one involving Saudi participation in India's strategic petroleum reserves was also signed. The aim of these pacts is transforming the buyer-seller relationship in this sector into a much larger strategic partnership. Both sides concluded an MOU to enhance cooperation in renewable energy. An MOU to launch RuPay card in Saudi Arabia has also been signed. This will be very useful for the large Indian community as well as Hajj and Umrah pilgrims. An MOU on Hajj-related cooperation has also been inked. A bilateral air services agreement as well as one on Atal Innovation Mission has also been entered into. An MOU between the stock exchanges of both countries has also been signed. In addition to this, MOUs in the areas of medical products regulation, diplomatic institute cooperation, drug trafficking were also signed. Earlier in the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also had useful discussions with Saudi Energy Minister as well as Minister of Labour and Social Development and Minister of Environment, Water and Agriculture. Though a short visit, it proved to be very intense and strong on deliverables, cementing hopes to further strengthen the growing strategic relationship between India and Saudi Arabia. With Kanchan Prasad and Arun Sharma in Riyadh, Bureau Report, DD News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the Future Initiative Investment Summit in Riyadh. He shared 5 mantras for global business, illustrating each with an example from India's growth story. Let's listen in.
पहला ट्रेंड है टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन का प्रभाव। दूसरा, ग्लोबल ग्रोथ के लिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की इंपॉर्टेंस। तीसरा, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स और फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क में तेजी से हो रहा बदलाव। चौथा, कंपैशन फॉर एनवायरमेंट। और पांचवा ट्रेंड है बिजनेस फ्रेंडली गवर्नेंस। ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव टेक्नोलॉजी जैसे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, जेनेटिक्स और नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी, ये रिसर्च से आगे बढ़कर आज रोजमर्रा के जीवन का भाग बनती जा रही है। भारत में हमने इस कल्चर को मजबूत करने के लिए अनेक स्तरों पर प्रयास किया है। चाहे वह युवाओं के लिए स्टार्टअप चैलेंजेज हो या हैकेथॉन्स हो, आज भारत दुनिया का तीसरा बड़ा स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम बन गया है। भारत में $1 बिलियन से ज्यादा वैल्यूएशन वाले यूनिकॉर्न्स की संख्या बढ़ती जा रही है। हमारे कई स्टार्टअप्स वैश्विक स्तर पर निवेश करने लगे हैं। मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि भारत में इनोवेशन में किया गया निवेश सबसे ज्यादा रिटर्न देगा और ये रिटर्न्स सिर्फ भौतिक नहीं होंगे बल्कि युवाओं को एम्पावर करेंगे। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एक तरफ बिजनेस को निवेश के व्यापक अवसर देता है, तो दूसरी ओर बिजनेस की वृद्धि के लिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर आवश्यक है, अनिवार्य है। भारत में हमने अगले कुछ सालों में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में $1.5 ट्रिलियन के निवेश का लक्ष्य रखा है। भारत में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की ग्रोथ डबल डिजिट में रहेगी और इसमें कैपेसिटी सैचुरेशन की कोई संभावना नहीं है। इसके कारण निवेशकों को लंबे समय तक रिटर्न भी सुनिश्चित रहेगा। वन नेशन, वन पावर ग्रिड, वन नेशन, वन गैस ग्रिड, one nation, one water grid, one nation, one mobility card, one nation, one optical fiber network, ऐसे अनेक प्रयासों से हम भारत के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को इंटीग्रेट कर रहे हैं। भारत के स्किल्ड ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज को दुनिया भर में आदर और प्रतिष्ठा मिले हैं। स्किल इंडिया इनिशिएटिव के माध्यम से हम अगले 3-4 वर्षों में 400 मिलियन लोगों को विभिन्न स्किल्स में ट्रेन करेंगे। हमें इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट्स को सिर्फ गुड्स तक सीमित नहीं रखना चाहिए, बल्कि मैन पावर और टैलेंट मोबिलिटी को भी उसका अभिन्न अंग बनाकर उसमें सरलता लानी चाहिए। क्लाइमेट चेंज का प्रभाव और क्लीन ऊर्जा का महत्व इतने व्यापक है कि उन्हें नजरअंदाज नहीं किया जा सकता। भारत में हम गैस और ऑयल के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में बड़ी मात्रा में निवेश बढ़ा रहे हैं। वर्ष 2024 तक हमारा रिफाइनिंग, पाइपलाइंस और गैस टर्मिनल्स में $100 बिलियन तक के निवेश का लक्ष्य है। मेरी एम्फेसिस हमेशा मिनिमम गवर्नमेंट, मैक्सिमम गवर्नेंस पर रही है। मैं समझता हूं कि कॉम्पिटिटिव, इनोवेटिव और डायनेमिक बिजनेस सेक्टर के लिए एक प्रोएक्टिव, ट्रांसपेरेंट गवर्नमेंट अच्छे फैसिलिटेटर का रोल अदा कर सकती है। स्पष्ट नियम और फेयर सिस्टम प्राइवेट सेक्टर की ग्रोथ के लिए आवश्यक है।
Well, after hearing Prime Minister Narendra Modi's impressive keynote address at the FII, Indian investors living in Saudi have become highly optimistic of investing in India. They now see abundant opportunities in India, and now that the ease of doing business ranking having gained a higher position in the tally, Indian investors abroad see this as an awaited opportunity. Let's now listen into some reactions of Indian businessmen in Riyadh.
बहुत गर्व की बात है कि मोदी जी ने यहाँ पे आया और सबके साथ इंडिया की जो ग्रोथ स्टोरी सबको बताया।
आज का जो मोदी जी का जो बात है, दैट पीपल टेकन टू हार्ट, एंड आई एम श्योर दैट इसका रिजल्ट अगले महीने पे आ जाएंगे इंडिया के अंदर। नॉट ओनली फॉर द इन्वेस्टमेंट, द रिलेशन विल बी बिल्डिंग मोर।
What I like the most is the human capital what India is building is not just for India but for the whole world. And I am actually proud to tell you that we are part of that, and we are bringing top-notch talents from Bangalore to Saudi, and we are there with banking, financials, stock exchange, insurance sectors in Saudi market.
Post the successful meeting of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the Saudi King and Crown Prince, the two countries issued a joint statement on the issues discussed during the meetings. According to the statement, the two sides stress that extremism and terrorism threaten all nations and societies. They rejected any attempt to link this universal phenomena to any particular race, religion or culture. Both sides expressed their rejection of all terrorist acts and stressed the need to prevent access to weapons, including missiles and drones, to commit terrorist acts against other countries. India condemned the terrorist acts against civilian installations in Saudi Kingdom. Both sides called for closer cooperation in the United Nations Counter-Terrorism Center. Both sides agreed on strengthening cooperation in combating terrorist operations, exchange of information, capacity building and strengthening of cooperation in combating transnational crimes. During a one-on-one interaction at the Future Investment Initiative Forum, Prime Minister Modi shared his global vision. Tracing the journey from a bipolar to a multipolar world, he highlighted the need for reforms of the United Nations. He called for a compassionate and united world to tackle today's challenges.
We were talking before about meditation. We both meditate. And it has an effect on how you think, I think. So I wonder whether you could share some thoughts about how you think and how that pertains to looking at the world.
आपने बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण सवाल पूछा है। ये बात सही है कि मनुष्य के जीवन की यात्रा हो या समष्टि की यात्रा हो, डगर डगर पर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स बहुत स्वाभाविक होते हैं और तब हमने कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन का एक मैकेनिज्म विकसित करना चाहिए। मैं अपने अनुभव से कह सकता हूं और आप भी रेगुलर मेडिटेशन से जुड़े हुए व्यक्ति होने के नाते हम लोग भली भांति जानते हैं कि विचारों में बैलेंस, जीवन में बैलेंस, दुनिया को देखने की सम्यक दृष्टि, इन सब में मेडिटेशन की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका होती है। शांति की चर्चा शायद सबसे अधिक इसी शताब्दी में और पिछली शताब्दी में हुई है, लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट भी इस शताब्दी और पिछली शताब्दी में हुए हैं और उसके कारण होलियर देन दाउ और सबको मिलकर के ग्रो करना चाहिए, इस सोच का अभाव का परिणाम है कि हमने अपने आप को संघर्षों में खपा दिया और हमारी विकास का रास्ता भी एक प्रकार से विजय प्राप्त करने के इरादे का रहा, दूसरे को नीचा करने का रहा और इस सारी स्थितियों में से ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को जन्म हुआ है। मैं समझता हूं कि विश्व में सम्यक सोच के साथ आगे बढ़ना इस परिस्थितियों का रास्ता निकाल सकता है।
Meditation tends to bring one above circumstances and then look down on them. I wonder if we could talk about the world from the perspective of 5 major issues. Describe what you think the emerging world order will be like.
आज विश्व बदल चुका है, आज मल्टीपोलर वर्ल्ड है, आज दुनिया का हर देश इंटरडिपेंडेंट है, इंटरकनेक्टेड है। आज विश्व के छोटे से छोटे देश का महत्व बढ़ रहा है, हर एक की कहीं न कहीं उपयोगिता हो रही है और इसलिए हमने इस मल्टीपोलर वर्ल्ड को और अधिक स्ट्रेंथन करने की दिशा में अपनी विचारधारा कोई भी हो सकती है, सोशलिस्ट हो सकते हैं, कैपिटलिस्ट हो सकती है। हमने मानव जात के कल्याण के लिए हम क्या कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं उस दिशा में सोचना चाहिए। एक जमाना था जब ताकत की पहचान विस्तारवाद से जुड़ी थी, वो युग समाप्त हो चुका है। आज विस्तारवाद नहीं, विकासवाद का महत्व बढ़ रहा है। विश्व ने पिछले 2 या 3 शताब्दी में जो टेक्नोलॉजी में परिवर्तन की गति देखी है, उससे आज टेक्नोलॉजी के परिवर्तन की गति हजारों गुना ज्यादा है। हमने हमारी नई पीढ़ी को इनोवेशन के लिए मानवीय संवेदनाओं के साथ, हमें रोबोट तैयार नहीं करने हैं, हमें इंसान, जिंदा इंसान तैयार करने हैं। दुनिया के सामने संवेदना और टेक्नोलॉजी, ह्यूमन वैल्यूज, इसका बैलेंस बनाना एक बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेवारी होगी।
We have a capital and currency conflicts going on, and we have geopolitical conflicts going on. We don't have a world organization or a world rule book. How will we work together?
जल भी युद्ध का कारण बन रहा है, थल भी युद्ध का कारण बन रहा है, नभ भी युद्ध का कारण बन रहा है और स्पेस भी युद्ध का कारण बन रहा है। यानी एक नए मैदान हम युद्ध के लिए खोदते चले जा रहे हैं। ये मनुष्य की दुर्बलता की निशानी है। ये बात सही है कि जब यूएन का जन्म हुआ, एक ऐसी इंस्टीट्यूशन विकसित होगी जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन में कैटलिक एजेंट का रोल करेगी, लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से यूएन एज ए इंस्टीट्यूशन जो डेवलप होना चाहिए वो हम लोग नहीं कर पाए। अब यूएन 75 होने वाले हैं। मैं चाहूंगा कि दुनिया की सारी समझदार शक्तियां इकट्ठे होकर के 21वीं सदी में यूएन का रूप कैसा हो, नॉर्म्स क्या हो, उन नॉर्म को मानने की दुनिया की जिम्मेवारी क्या हो, उस दिशा में हम चले। आज दुनिया में संकट कहां से शुरू होता है? कुछ लोग हैं वो अपने आप को इतना बड़ा मानने लगे हैं, कोई कानून मानने को तैयार नहीं है। तो दुनिया के देशों ने भी वैश्विक नियमों का पालन करना ही होगा और हमने हर प्रकार से नियमों का उल्लंघन के प्रति विश्व को एक होकर के चलना चाहिए। तब जाकर के ऐसी शक्तियों को आइसोलेट कर सकते हैं और उनको सही रास्ते पर लाने का प्रयास कर सकते हैं।
In a free-flowing and informal interaction, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also showcased India's growth journey that emerged as an example before the rest of the world. Prime Minister Modi shared the success stories from India that can inspire others.
You're not representing the poor or the rich. You are not representing one faction in relationship to another. You've drawn the country together. You've made tremendous accomplishments, and you're creating an economy that is making a great deal of progress for all of the people in a broader way. I'd like to get your sense of what is it like to be in your shoes.
मुझे किताबों से मैंने गरीबी नहीं पढ़ी है, मैं गरीबी में जी करके आया हूँ। मैंने जिंदगी गरीबी में बिताई है। रेल प्लेटफॉर्म पर चाय बेचते बेचते मैं आज यहाँ पहुँचा हूँ और इसलिए मेरे दिल में वो दर्द होना बहुत स्वाभाविक है कि मेरा शक्ति, मेरा समय, मेरी स्थिति इन लोगों के लिए काम है। मैं खुशी है कि पिछले कुछ ही वर्षों में आज दुनिया में तेज गति से गरीबी को खत्म करने में भारत सफल हुआ है। मेरा गरीबी के खिलाफ लड़ाई का रास्ता है गरीबों को एम्पावर करना, गरीबों को ताकतवर बनाना। वो खुद गरीबी को खत्म करने के लिए आगे आ जाएंगे। दूसरी बात है, गरीब को डिग्निटी चाहिए। जब मैं टॉयलेट देता हूं तब एक व्यवस्था नहीं देता हूं, मैं डिग्निटी देता हूं। मैं सत्तावादी स्वभाव का नहीं हूं और न सत्तावाद को मैं स्वीकार नहीं करता हूं। मैं सेवा भाव को स्वीकार करता हूं। हिंदुस्तान में जब बदलाव आता है तो वो सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान का नहीं है, वो दुनिया के सारे रैंकिंग बदल देता है। जब मैं टॉयलेट बनाता हूं, ओपन डेफिकेशन फ्री सोसाइटी खड़ी होती है तो विश्व के सारे आंकड़े बदल जाते हैं। यानी भारत का कंट्रीब्यूशन ग्लोबल गुड्स के लिए, दुनिया की भलाई के लिए बहुत बड़ा रोल करेगा। इसका एक बहुत बड़ा गहरा संतोष मैं अनुभव करता हूं।
I'd like your thoughts on combining your human capital and raising the capacity of human capital with technology and using that as a combination to raise India.
हमारे पास ह्यूमन कैपिटल है तो ह्यूमन कैपिटल और रिसोर्स है तो और रिसोर्स, ये लार्जर गुड के लिए उपयोग करना चाहिए, लेकिन समय के अनुकूल उसमें बदलाव लाना चाहिए, अपग्रेडेशन करना चाहिए और हो सके तो समय से पहले करना चाहिए। टेक्नोलॉजी इनोवेशन स्पिरिट वाला तय करना चाहिए और दुनिया के मानों को, जो आजकल मैं एक काम कर रहा हूं, दुनिया के कई यूनिवर्सिटी के बच्चों के साथ हमारे देश के बच्चों का मैं हैकेथॉन करवाता हूं, क्योंकि मीटिंग ऑफ माइंड ग्लोबल अपकमिंग लीडरशिप के लिए बहुत आवश्यक है। उसी प्रकार से दुनिया में जहां जहां स्टार्टअप्स के प्रयोग हो रहे हैं, उस स्टार्टअप वाले बच्चों को, मेरे देश के स्टार्टअप वाले बच्चों के साथ मैं ज्वाइंट प्रोग्राम करवाता हूं, ताकि दुनिया की जो मानव शक्ति है उसमें जो टैलेंट पड़ी है उसको स्टूडेंट काल में ही जोड़ने का काम करना चाहिए। तो थैंक यू।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the King of Jordan, Abdullah bin al-Hussein. The two leaders exchanged views on strengthening bilateral relations. They discussed the Middle East peace process and other regional developments. Both leaders also discussed cooperation in counter-terrorism. The two leaders expressed happiness over the flourishing bilateral ties. They also discussed ways of enhancing trade and investment along with several bilateral issues.
The leaders expressed satisfaction at the excellent state of our bilateral relations, including our cooperation in setting up the Center for IT Excellence in Amman by India, our trade and investment ties, and also decided to convene the Joint Committee for Trade and Investment to explore ways of enhancing our trade and economic ties even more. Prime Minister also appreciated the role of His Majesty the King of Jordan in promoting harmony and moderation and speaking out forcefully against terrorism at the recently held UN General Assembly.
Back home, the 23-member delegation of the European Union MPs visited Srinagar on Tuesday. This is the first ever high-level foreign visitors delegation to Kashmir after the revoking of Article 370 on August 5th. The delegation met Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, state administration officials and the local residents of Srinagar. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Secretary BVR Subramaniam and Police Chief Dilbagh Singh briefed the members of the European Parliament on the ground situation. The team also interacted with public, including the newly elected panchayat members and councillors. As the winter chills settle over the city, MPs enjoyed boating at the famous Dal Lake. Meanwhile, the board examinations for class 12th will commence from today, in which 48,000 students will appear in 633 centers across the state. Board examinations for class 10 began on schedule on Tuesday. As many as 1.6 lakh students appeared in the Board of School Education exams on Tuesday at 1,502 centers across Kashmir. Meanwhile, 5 non-Kashmiri labourers were killed by terrorists in Kulgam districts on Tuesday. Those injured are being treated at the district hospital in Anantnag. Troops of the 18 Battalion Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police have cordoned off the area. Well, for more inputs on that particular story, Salman Qazi, our correspondent, joins us with more on the phone line. Salman, we heard about 5 non-Kashmiris being killed, but there was also one serious injury too. There was one more casualty that was rushed to the hospital. Is there any details on that particular injured person?
Right now, what the reports that we have is that one of the injured is still critical, and all of these laborers, the 5 dead and 1 injured, they belong to the outside state, and there have been attacks earlier. Some truck drivers associated with Apple trade were attacked, and some of them were killed. And this is in this series, this is one of the biggest attacks in which 5 laborers who are from outside state have been killed here, and one of them has been injured. Right now, the information about the injured laborer is that he's still hospitalized and still not out of danger.
Okay, still continues to be critical. But also give us a sense of the, Jammu and Kashmir board examinations. The class 12 exams began, the class 10 exams about to be, the class 10 exams began, class 12 exams about to begin today. How easy is it for the children there to go out and, attempt those examination papers across those 633 centers?
Yeah, the class 10 board exams and class 12 board exams have started. I mean, class 12 board exams will start from today, and yesterday there was the first paper of the class 10 board exam. There is a lack of public transport, so it is difficult for students to arrive, but the participation has been very high, almost 100%, so that I think most of the arrangements have been made. Even each district administration has created helplines in which students, if they have any problems regarding transportation or any other thing, they are being helped to reach the examination centers. And moreover, most of the students have made arrangements for themselves so that they could reach examination centers. And yesterday's examination, the near universal participation was there. So it's expected that the exams would go smoothly, and there would be 100% participation in these exams. And after these exams, there are going to be university exams also.
Okay, stand corrected on that. Class 12th exams begin today and class 10 exams began yesterday. But one quick word on the European Union delegation there. They visited Srinagar yesterday. They are likely to visit Jammu today. Give us a sense of, how has their reaction been to the situation there on ground zero?
Their reaction, they have not interacted with the press until now.
Okay.
They're likely to interact today in Jammu. However, they did meet a wide-ranging people from diverse backgrounds. They met state administration officials, they met security officials, they met civil society members, some traders federations, and some panchayat members also, and political workers also. So I think there's a very broad-based engagement that they did here to gauge the situation on the ground. And I think what their final reactions are, they would be interacting with the press most probably in Jammu today. So I think that will allow us to know what exactly their thoughts were on the situation in Kashmir.
Okay, you have a busy day ahead. Thank you and appreciate you joining us this morning with those inputs there from Jammu and Kashmir. Moving ahead, the Shiv Sena is continuing to drive a hard bargain with its alliance partner, the BJP, in Maharashtra. Though the alliance has a clear majority of 161 seats in the 288-member House, the Shiv Sena, which has 56 seats, doesn't want to play the role of a junior partner and insists on a 50-50 power-sharing formula. Meanwhile, BJP on Tuesday appointed Union Minister Narendra Singh Tomar and Party Vice President Avinash Rai Khanna as central observers for the meeting of the newly elected BJP Legislative Party scheduled for today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had a telephonic conversation with the Minister of Defence of Japan, Taro Kono, on Tuesday. Raksha Mantri congratulated him on behalf of the Government of India for the enthronement of His Majesty the Emperor Naruhito. The two ministers also exchanged views on bilateral relations and regional security situation. Expressing satisfaction on the robust defence cooperation between India and Japan, Defence Minister recalled his successful meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, and the Defence Minister of Japan during his visit to the nation in September 2019. Rajnath Singh said he looked forward to meeting the Defence Minister of Japan during the forthcoming ASEAN Defence Ministers Plus meeting in Bangkok in November this year. A commemorative coin was released on Tuesday on great yogi Paramhansa Yogananda on his 125th birth anniversary. Paramhansa Yogananda did pioneering work in spreading the knowledge of yoga globally. The special coin was released by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman at a function in New Delhi. The minister praised the contribution of Paramhansa Yogananda in making yoga a global movement.
So today, 125 years after the great yogi, when we are marking as Government of India this honor which we, I think, bestow upon ourselves by remembering and also marking the great yogi, it's indeed a fortuitous day for me. Thank you for bestowing this honor on us. India feels very strongly about this great son of the universe, who's brought in harmony to all our hearts and minds.
The function was also attended by senior monks from Self-Realization Fellowship and Yoga, the Satsang Society of India, founded by Paramhansa Yogananda. Swami Vivekananda from United States highlighted the objectives of the organization in India and across the world.
The various charitable activities conducted by YSS devotees, such as hospitals, clinics, and dispensaries, the schools and colleges, and the relief provided to victims of natural disasters are manifestations of that ideal. Our Guru's greatest service to humanity is the mission he was given to disseminate throughout the world India's ancient sacred science of Kriya Yoga. That by its faithful practice, spiritually hungry souls around the globe might attain the experience of direct communion with God.
As part of a goodwill initiative, Ramya, a 17-year-old girl battling with blood cancer, was appointed as police commissioner of Rachakonda Police for a day in Telangana. The class 12 student acted as the commissioner of police after Rachakonda Police Commissioner fulfilled the girl's wish. After taking charge as police commissioner, Ramya said she would like to control the law and order problems, create a friendly police atmosphere and bring good name and reputation to the commissionerate. Moving to international stories, British lawmakers on Tuesday approved Prime Minister Boris Johnson's plans to hold a snap general election on December 12th. Lawmakers in the House of Commons voted 438 to 20 in favour of holding a national election on December 12th. The law will now be passed to Parliament's upper house for consideration. Following approval by the Lords, there will be a 5-week campaign up to polling day. The Prime Minister has said that the public must be given a choice over the future of Brexit and the country. Meanwhile, Turkey will eliminate any Syrian Kurdish YPG militia fighters that remained in a planned safe zone in northeastern Syria after the expiration of a 150-hour deadline agreed upon by Ankara and Moscow. Turkish foreign minister said this during a joint news briefing in Geneva with his Iranian and Russian counterparts, dedicated to the launch of the first Syrian Constitutional Committee meeting today. Russia has informed Turkey that YPG fighters have left a strip of land near the Syrian-Turkish border within a deadline set by Ankara and Moscow. Democrats in Congress answering Republican complaints that their impeachment investigation of US President Donald Trump is being conducted in secret plan a vote on Thursday on how to make their inquiry public, a significant new stage in the probe. Trump and his fellow Republicans have for weeks branded the work of committees probing Trump's overtures to Ukraine as illegitimate, arguing the full Democratic-led House of Representatives had failed to authorize their investigation in a public vote. US President Donald Trump on Tuesday said that the person likely to be the first in line to replace the slain ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has also been terminated. Trump did not identify the person or give more details on how the individual was killed. Separately on Monday, the United States confirmed the killing of Abu al-Hassan al-Mujahir, the ISL spokesman and a high-ranking figure within the group. Al-Baghdadi was killed in the night time by the US military operation in northwest Syria, which was later confirmed by Trump on Sunday. Moving to Lebanon, where the Prime Minister Saad Hariri has turned in his resignation to President Michel Aoun, satisfying one of the main demands of the country's protest movement. The announcement came on Tuesday on the back of 13 days of mass protests demanding the departure of the country's entire political elite amid growing anger over official corruption, poor public services and years of economic mismanagement. The 2 weeks crisis has paralyzed Lebanon, closing banks, schools and some businesses. Well, time now to get you the latest in the world of finance and business, and it's time to get my colleague Achal on board.
Well, thank you very much, Anil. And today is the third trading day session. That's Wednesday. Let's have a look at those news which are making headlines in the world of business. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman yesterday chaired the Governing Council meeting of the National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. The NIIF is a fund manager that invests in infrastructure and related sectors in the country. It is operationalized by establishing 3 alternative investment funds under the SEBI regulations. The proposed corpus of NIIF is rupees 40,000 crores. The Government of India's contribution to AIF under the NIIF scheme is 49% of the total commitment. Now, this fund has mandate to solicit equity participation from strategic anchor partners such as overseas, sovereign, multilateral or bilateral investors. Moving on to other news which is related to FDI, an inter-ministerial group yesterday held discussions on the possibility of further easing FDI norms in different sectors with a view to attract overseas investors. Officials from different ministries including Defence, Home Affairs, Information and Broadcasting, Electronics and IT and Finance attended the meeting. The department is looking at relaxing norms in those sectors where currently 100% FDI is not permitted through automatic route. Now, foreign investment is allowed through automatic route in the most of the sectors, but in certain areas such as defence, telecom, media, pharmaceuticals and insurance, government approval is required. In subsectors like telecom, insurance, banking and media, there is a cap on FDI limit. During April-June period of current fiscal, FDI into India was increased by 28%. Now, news from RBI. For non-compliance with directions issued on income recognition and asset classification norms, management of advances and exposure norms and other restrictions, RBI has imposed a fine of rupees 1 crore on Pune-based Janata Sehkari Bank and rupees 25 lakh on Jalgaon People's Cooperative Bank for violating asset classification norms. The penalty has been imposed in exercise of powers vested in the RBI under the provisions of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Now, news about digital transactions. Transactions using India's own domestic payment platform, Unified Payment Interface, that is UPI, hit a landmark of 1 billion in October, 3 years after its launch. The UPI also recently crossed 100 million users. This achievement makes it the fastest adoption of any payment system anywhere else in the world. The National Payment Corporation of India, which launched the domestic payments platform 3 years ago and operates it as has an aim to take the fund transfer system to other countries such as Singapore and the United Arab Emirates. And that's all we have in this edition of Finance World. Back to Anil for more other news updates.
Well, thank you for those updates. Let's now move to sports. And first up, Shakib Al Hasan has been banned from all forms of cricket for 2 years by the ICC. Bangladesh Test and T20 captain Shakib Al Hasan was on Tuesday suspended for 2 years by the International Cricket Council for not reporting a corrupt approach, ruling him out of the tour of India, which starts on November 3rd. Shakib has been handed a full ban for a year and a 12-month suspended sentence. The 32-year-old was being kept away from the team's practice on ICC's instructions. The series against India comprises 3 T20 internationals and 2 test matches. He will miss next year's Indian Premier League and also the World T20 to be held in Australia from 18th of October to the 15th of November. 2 years ago, a bookie had approached Shakib with an offer before an international match, which he did not report to the ICC's Anti-Corruption and Security Unit. The ban will compound Bangladesh Cricket Board's problems ahead of the tour of India. The Indian cricket team will play its first ever day-night test match against Bangladesh. This was confirmed by the BCCI President Sourav Ganguly on Tuesday, ending days of speculation surrounding the game. The test is scheduled to be held at the Eden Gardens from November 22nd to 26th and will be the second game of the 2-match test series. The development ended days of speculation after Ganguly first proposed the idea of a Bangladesh cricket board, which faced resistance from its players and sat for multiple meetings to convince them. Just like Cricket Australia's annual Pink Test, where players wear pink caps in association with the Jane McGrath Foundation to raise awareness about breast cancer, Ganguly wants the Eden Gardens Day-Night Test to be an annual affair. Indian cricketers have for long objected to playing with the pink ball, asserting that siding the ball becomes a problem after it gets old. Staying with sports but moving to Barcelona, where Barcelona are in red-hot form, and Barcelona's Lionel Messi scored 2 goals and provided 2 assists as Barcelona thrashed Real Valladolid 5-1 to return to the top of La Liga. Barcelona defender Clement Lenglet drove in an early goal before Kiko bundled in to draw level. Arturo Vidal then poked in from Messi's pass to restore Barcelona's lead before the Argentinian curled in a superb free kick, the 50th such goal of his career. Messi powered in a 4th and then set up Luis Suarez to sweep in a 5th. Barcelona were not in action at the weekend after their game with Real Madrid was postponed because of safety fears surrounding the ongoing protest in Catalonia. Barcelona needed to win to reclaim the top spot, which they did in impressive style with Messi at his scintillating best. Earlier, Atletico Madrid were held to a 1-1 draw by Alava. Staying with football but shifting to England, where holders Manchester City eased into the quarter-finals of the League Cup after seeing off a Southampton side 3-1, who were focused on damage limitation after the humiliating loss against Leicester over the weekend, where they were dropped 9-0. Saints, who had slipped in 9 goals against the Foxes on Friday night, sat deep for most of a one-sided match at the Etihad Stadium, but at least avoided another embarrassing scoreline. Nicolas Otamendi broke the deadlock, while Sergio Aguero made it 2-0 before the break with his 11th goal of the season. The Argentinian striker added his side's 3rd on 57 minutes. In total, a much-changed City side had 19 shots at goal, while Saints barely made it out of their own half before the break and had to wait until the 65th minute for their first effort. Jack Stephens headed home a consolation goal from James Ward-Prowse's corner for the Saints. City, who have won the competition in each of the past 2 seasons, will find out their opponents in the last 8 on Thursday. Well, time now to take a look at the top stories published in the national dailies in the national capital. Our first look is at the Hindustan Times, and a shocker of a story there. The choke is on Delhi. Pollution turning severe, lingering cracker fumes, spike in farm fires pushing capital into another crisis. If you see the fire soaring across from October 24 to 28, on October 24th, 1,081 fire source or fires in fields in Punjab and Haryana were reported, which has gone up to 2,275, and the effect is that Delhi is now the AQI. That's Delhi's AQI, that's the overall air quality index, having fallen to 400, Ghaziabad 446, Noida 439, Greater Noida 428, Faridabad at 387, and Gurugram a bit on the better side at 368, but all in severe category. Looking at our next newspaper headline that comes from the Hindu, and there is no cyber attack on the Kudankulan plant. Officials deny that the site was hacked hours after a cyber security expert claimed on Twitter that the Kudankulan nuclear power plant's domain controller level access could have been compromised. Officials have categorically denied it on Tuesday. A press release from the plant information officer clearly indicated that cyber attack was not possible on the control systems, as the control systems are not linked to outside network on internet. Our next look is at a story of a broken leg at the LOC, and a Blade Runner now toasting his second life with a triple gold, and he is looking at qualifying for the Tokyo Olympics. Anantha Gunesekaran in contention for Tokyo Paralympics. He's been able to make a comeback strongly and has been training there for the World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in for 200 meters, and also training at the Army Sports Institute in Pune, trying to make it good in the 2020 Tokyo Paralympic Games. Our final look is at the Delhi Mirror and Mail today, where an interesting photo feature of devotees collecting rice as offerings distributed by the temple authority on the occasion of Annakut or Govardhan Puja festival at the Madan Mohan temple in Kolkata on Tuesday. A brilliant picture there to sum up a look at the national dailies. Time now to take a jog down memory lane and take a look at all the important events that took place on 30th of October.
On this day in 1883, Maharshi Dayanand Saraswati, founder of Arya Samaj, passed away in Ajmer. He was a profound scholar of the Vedic lore and Sanskrit language. He was the first to give the call for Swaraj as Indian for India in 1876, a call later taken up by Lokmanya Tilak. On the same day in 1909, Homi Jahangir Bhabha, known as father of Indian nuclear program, an Indian nuclear physicist and professor of physics at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, was born in Mumbai. Bhabha was also the founding director of the atomic energy establishment Trombay, which is now named the Bhabha Atomic Research Center in his honor. And on this day in 1990, V. Shantaram, an Indian filmmaker, film producer and actor, passed away in Mumbai. He was awarded the Dada Saheb Phalke Award in 1985 and Padma Vibhushan in 1992. His autobiography Shantaram was published in Hindi and Marathi. On the same day in 1960, Michael Woodruff performed the first successful kidney transplant in the United Kingdom at the Edinburgh Royal Infirmary.
Well, time now to come back to the present and take a look at the events listed for today.
President Ramnath Kovind is scheduled to be the chief guest at the annual convocation of Jamia Millia Islamia. Over 5,000 students, including more than 360 gold medalists who passed their exams in 2017 and 2018, will be awarded their degrees and diplomas at the convocation. The Assam State Transport Corporation, that's the ASTC, is scheduled to launch 15 electric buses in Guwahati as part of measures to check the deteriorating air quality in the state. The Enforcement Directorate's custody of former Union Minister P. Chidambaram, granted by a Delhi court in connection with alleged money laundering related to the INX media case, is scheduled to end. BCCI Chief Saurav Ganguly is scheduled to hold a meeting of the National Cricket Academy officials, including Director Rahul Dravid and CEO Tufan Ghosh in Bengaluru. BCCI Joint Secretary Jayesh George is also likely to be present.
Well, now for a good news India story. The modern day lifestyle induces stress and depression in many people. It's believed that staying happy is the key to keeping the ill effects of fast-paced, dehumanizing modern living at bay. A group of youth have come forward in Delhi to do exactly that. Their goal is to bring a smile to people's lips.
In the hurly-burly of modern-day living, it sometimes becomes difficult to find moments of joy. It even leads to stress and depression among some people. But a group of people have come forward to counter this trend in Delhi. Comprising school children, college students, some professionals and even senior citizens, this group takes out time to say thank you to those who spend their days and nights serving society. Traffic police personnel, security personnel and guards, sanitation workers are the kind of people whose day gets made if a single person expresses gratitude for what they do. This Happiness Brigade calls its own initiative by the name of Rab Shukran.
हमने छोटे से कार्ड्स बनाए, इसमें एक थैंक यू मैसेज लिखा. थैंक यू के ज़्यादा हमने ये लिखा है कि एक आम आदमी जो मदद कर रहा है, पुलिस वाला, स्वीपर, एम्बुलेंस ड्राइवर, ऑटो रिक्शा वाले जो रोज़ आपकी मदद कर रहे हैं, आप उनको शायद अगर थैंक यू नहीं बोल रहे हैं तो बेइज्जत मत करिए.
This group goes out to different locations in the national capital to contact traffic police personnel. At first, it confuses them, but when the policemen read the message handed to them, grins spread across their faces. Even rickshaw pullers have a similar reaction. A mere thank you is enough to chase away the entire day's tiredness, tension and stress.
जो अब तुम जो कदम तुम उठा रहे हो, शायद हमें भी लग रहा है कि भाई कुछ भलो है ना आ रहा हो जी.
हमारी सहायता आप कर रहे हो, हम भी किसी की सहायता करें, हमें अच्छा लगा.
This group of sanitation workers was also quite surprised by the praise and appreciation showered on them by the Rab Shukran volunteers, but their smiles indicated how special is the initiative.
गरीबों को ये सब करना बहुत अच्छी बात है बेटा. अब जिसके कोई नहीं है, इनको इतना मदद आप कर रहे हैं, तो इससे अच्छा क्या और हो सकता है दुनिया में बेटा.
जितना ये ईर्ष्या, द्वेष और ये सब चीजें ना ये खत्म हो जाएं सोसाइटी से.
Not only in Delhi, but the Happiness Brigade is active in several other cities in the country, spreading joy. Apart from bringing a smile to people's faces, they also help people solve their everyday problems, like giving information about government schemes, helping those in need acquire government ID and documents, distributing books among poor children, and helping poor people access public health services. With Chela Nigar in Delhi, Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, the story surely brings a smile on my face. Well, on that note, it's time to say goodbye. But before that, let's take a look at the weather in your city. Well, before we enter this edition of Breakfast Show, we leave you with a positive thought to kickstart your day. Tell someone they matter. Our image of the day, glimpses of Halloween extravaganza in the United States featuring more than 7,000 illuminated jack-o'-lanterns in New York. Take a look. Have a safe and wonderful day ahead. Bye-bye.